Hello and welcome back. As many of my viewers already know, I'm a big fan of outdoor solar powered lights. I had this particular setup for quite a while, and because of the long cords, it got caught up in a weed whacker, and so I did a fix. Not too happy with the shrink tubing fix there, but I was able to repurpose this somewhere else where it works better. It's up on a post. The problem I'm having is I have all this cord, and I actually only need about 12 inches of cord coming off going to a connector. So since I just acquired a Wagner HT 1000 heat tool kit, I saw it on Project Farm. It performed very well. It was available at a very good price, so I bought it. And the reason for the heat gun is to use shrink tubing on my connections so that they are waterproof. For this project, we're going to need shrink tubing, a wire stripper, a pair of scissors to cut the shrink tubing, a wire cutter, some connectors, a crimping tool, and of course, a heat gun. Prior to the Wagner heat gun, I was using a small hair dryer, which gave me less than spectacular results. With LED lights, it's important to maintain polarity. So on this cable, there is a smooth side that's on the top, and on the bottom side is a ribbed side. So this way, despite of where you cut the cable, you'll always be able to match the polarity by connecting smooth to smooth and rib to rib. Since I've determined the length of wire I needed, all I have to do is go to that marking and cut and cut. Now I have the correct length of wire to the solar panel. I need to go to the other end of the wire and secure the connectors. Looking at the connectors, you'll notice that they don't match, and that's because when the weed whacker trashed the cable, this connector could not be found, so I just grabbed the replacement and tossed that one on. So for now, I'm just going to clip them both at the same distance. I will remove the shrink tubing that's here so I can get clean wire back again, and then we'll just reconnect to our small pigtails from the solar panel. After cutting and stripping, your cables should look like this with some wire exposed. We are using butt connectors. These are 16 to 22 gauge, which there's a metal conductor in between. So the wire will go into the metal conductor, get crimped. There's a wire on this end that goes into the butt connector. That'll also get crimped. And since there is a conductor in the middle, it'll bridge any gap between the two wires. The important thing is to make sure you put your shrink tubing on the wire before you crimp your connection. You could put shrink tubing either on this part to the wire and this part, so you'd have two small pieces of shrink tubing, or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to encase the entire butt connector. Get your butt connectors, and that way I only have two possible places where water and moisture can get in, as opposed to four if I did it on this end and this end. Of course, make sure you get your polarity correct. Smooth to smooth, rib to rib. Otherwise, you'll either damage your LED or it won't work. I'm using a vise to hold my wire in place, have my shrink tubing on. The metal part of the butt connector is resting on the insulation of this wire. Likewise on the other side. So now we are ready to crimp using the appropriate die. And if this worked correctly, then these should not pull apart. And now what I will do is bring the shrink tubing over that, center it, and then we'll use our fancy Wagner to apply heat. First, we have to unbox our Wagner HT 1000. You get an owner's manual. You get the actual heat gun. It's a 3-prong connection. You have off, low, high. There's a place to hang the gun, and you could also set it that way if you need to for hands-free operation. In addition, they include a cone concentrator, a wide nozzle concentrator, and a spreader shield. It allows you to push heat yet protect something that's on the other side of this shield. 3 nice little accessories that are included with the kit. I have the shrink tubing centered over the butt connectors. We're ready to apply heat. Not too loud. Not too loud even on high. Thanks to the Wagner, I was able to complete my project and have a clean installation with minimal wires. The Wagner is certainly better than a hairdryer when it comes to shrinking tubing, but did you know that this Wagner can also soften paint, caulking, putty, floor tile adhesives. It can be used to bend pipes. It could even be used to wax your skis. For the low price that this unit is selling, it's impressive that it comes with 3 different nozzle types. Because the air intakes are on the side, the unit can be set on its back so it can be used hands-free. And the ability to store it using a peg is greatly appreciated in a crowded shop. About the only negative I have is that unfortunately this does not have just an air only. So what happens is when you're done, this piece stays really hot for quite a while. If it had an air only function, you at least could cool that off, but since it doesn't have that, you just have to be aware that that tip's going to be hot for quite a while and not to let it contact things you don't want melted or burned. And maybe because of that, they've included this trim piece on both sides of the unit so that when you lay it down, the hot tip doesn't touch the surface. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.